On this channel, we've spent a lot of time reviewing and taking apart all the Braun Silk Epil epilators. And today, I'm excited to present to you my final ranking of all these epilators. In 2025, the main change in the Silk Epil lineup is the release of an updated version of the Silk Epil 7. We're going to get back to that in just a few seconds. Before we dive into the specifics, it's important to keep in mind the three key factors I use for ranking these devices: the price, the number of tweezers, and the durability, which includes whether or not you can repair the product. At the bottom of the ranking, we have the Silk Epil 3. This model is too expensive for the number of tweezers it offers, and to top it off, the charger is outdated and incompatible with other models. They're just not worth the investment anymore. Now let's talk about the latest in the Silk Epil lineup. Personally, I find this model a bit disappointing compared to its older version. One major downside is the central button, which tends to collect dust and hair. However, it does come with an epilation head that's larger and has more tweezers, the same as the Silk Epil 9. That's why I suggest we compare it to its big brother, which doesn't have the sticky button issue of the Silk Epil 7 because the 9 uses a solid button. It's not perfect either, since grease can build up in the small gaps around the button, but it's definitely an improvement. When it comes to comfort, the Silk Epil 7 feels much smoother and less plastic-like compared to the 9 or the waterproof Silk Epil 5. However, I'm removing it because, in my opinion, the Silk Epil 9 is still better for a similar price. Now let's talk about the Silk Epil 9 Flex. While it's also quite comfortable and better in feel than the plastic finish of the 9, it has a major issue: compatibility with other models. When we talk about durability, it's important that you can easily find replacement parts. That's not the case with the 9 Flex. The epilation head is sealed, meaning you can't open it to clean or repair the internal mechanisms, so you'll end up needing to buy a new head if something goes wrong. On top of that, the battery is difficult to replace, which makes it even less durable. So while the comfort of this model is a strong point, its lack of repairability and durability really hold it back, ultimately eliminating the Silk Epil 9 Flex from being a top contender. So, we're left with the Silk Epil 9, the waterproof Silk Epil 5, and the corded Silk Epil 5. The waterproof version of the 5 is interesting, but it has fewer tweezers than the 9, and since their prices are not that far, I'm going to remove it for now. It's sad, but the two top performers of this ranking, the Silk Epil 5 and the classic Silk Epil 9, are likely to be discontinued next year, which is unfortunate. The Silk Epil 5 is likely to be discontinued in favor of its cordless version, which will essentially be a clone of the Silk Epil 7 that we've already reviewed in this ranking, with a smaller epilation head. This means that the corded Silk Epil 5 will no longer be available, which is unfortunate since it has the big advantage of not needing battery replacements. This model is also compatible with the wide head from the Silk Epil 9. This allows you to enjoy most of the features of the 9, including the 2 speed settings and the wide epilation head, since all the accessories are interchangeable. So, in terms of cost effectiveness, the corded Silk Epil 5 is one of the most budget-friendly options in this ranking. As for the Silk Epil 9, it remains our top performer if you want to enjoy a cord-free experience. However, I suspect that it, too, will gradually be phased out in favor of the Silk Epil 9 Flex, which would be a real shame. As we've seen in this video, and as I explain in more detail in other videos on the channel, the classic Silk Epil 9 is one of the most repairable and easy-to-clean models in the entire Silk Epil range, making it an epilator that can last for many years. On the other hand, the Silk Epil 9 Flex is much harder to repair, and its battery is impossible to replace. As a little bonus tip, you might still find older versions of the Silk Epil 7 on sale, and I highly recommend picking one up while you still can. It is a great product, with similar internal mechanisms to the newer models. So for this final ranking, for tight budgets, the corded Silk Epil 5 is a great choice. It's practical, reliable, and still offers a full epilation experience. For those who want the most complete epilation experience, the Silk Epil 9 is the best option. It's compatible with all the accessories from across the Silk Epil range and very durable. Lastly, if you're looking for an alternative, keep an eye out for older models of the Silk Epil 5 or 7 that might be on sale. They're still very solid options. If this video helped you, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on future reviews. Feel free to use the comment section for questions, feedback, or to share your experiences with the community. Thanks for watching and see you next time.